The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Alongside Carson-Newman women's basketball coach Mike Mincey, I'm Michael Watchering, and this is the Eagles Sports Network. CN getting ready to take on Anderson in the opening round of the NCAA Tournament. And, Coach, what'd you learn from your team last weekend beating LMU and Wingate, the only two teams that had beaten you this year, in your ability to overcome some early deficits and then hold a lead and maintain that lead throughout the rest of the game?
Well, there had been a couple of things. The only two losses we had this year, obviously, were at LMU and at Wingate. And in both those games, there was a little bit of adversity that took place that not that we hadn't overcome it before, but we just didn't against those two particular teams. And, of course, those two teams in particular gave us 5 of our 10 losses last year. So to suffer losses to them and then turn around and go to the most important days of the year, which that conference tournament, and be able to, put out LMU, and that was a very tight game, and to finish it out by making plays down the stretch, and obviously move on to the championship game where we hadn't been in a long time, and to beat Wingate a second time over the last however days it was, and obviously that late third quarter stretch, even into the fourth quarter, just some big plays were made. But you look back to the first quarter, we got down 13-4, and there wasn't any panic. It was just let's just keep fighting. And actually at that point in time, I saw a little bit more effort. They dug a little deeper and got some turnovers, put the ball in the basket. Of course, Micah carried us on the offensive end in the first half. So I think for our guys, they're really good players. They've won a lot of games. But to go on and win a championship, once you do it, then you can call yourself a champion, and then you can try to do it again. And it's a little bit more easier to do it once you you jump that hurdle.
You get really a dream scenario to be able to host an NCAA tournament in a building where you haven't lost this season. In preparation for this week, what do you try to instill upon this group, knowing that they've been so successful here, but now that it's a little bit of a different atmosphere?
I think they understand it, that it's different because it doesn't matter who it is. Everybody in a tournament, it's one and done. You lose, you're done. It doesn't matter how great your season's gone. And so I think they're excited to play. I think we understand, just what kind of advantage you do have just in your preparations in your own gym, and you don't have to travel, and you get to sleep in your own bed. And so obviously we've never been able to do that before. So we're enjoying every minute of it that we get to stay home and play somewhere where we're very comfortable and have played very well over the last year and a half, I guess. And but a lot of that stuff goes out the window. It's NCAA tournament, and crazy things happen in March. So we got to just make sure that our prep is very good. I know they're ready to go, and they're really excited to get started. And so, we just look for some good success, hopefully, this weekend.
It's an Anderson team that you've beaten twice already this year, but defensively, one of the better teams year in, year out. Right. They were in the tournament last year, so they have that experience. What do you expect from Coach Jonathan Barbary's team?
Well, they played. Obviously, the only team that's beat them in the month of February is Wingate, and that's twice. And they had an opportunity to beat Wingate in the semifinals there. That was a very close game that they lost by 3. We'll have to obviously do a good job. The 2 games in the regular season don't really matter as much. I mean, we won both those games, but it's tournament time. It's March Madness, so you kind of throw out the records. Everything's out the door. It's going to be that 1 40-minute game that's going to decide everything. And Jonathan does a good job. I mean, they ran some really good sets over at Wingate. We'll throw a lot at us from that standpoint. We just got to try to get the game going the way we want. In terms of the tempo, and if we can do that, we like our chances. But I liked how we played in the semis in the championship game. We had to get into some half-court defensive sets and get stops and come up with some big stops, and I thought we did a pretty good job of that.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck Friday.
Thank you, Michael.
He's Carson-Newman women's basketball coach Mike Mincey. I'm Michael Watchering, and this is the Eagle Sports Network.